what lessons would you want to add to the way black families raise their children today from the lessons that you have learned over the years?
But what would I add to?
Yeah. What would you like black...
what would I change?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you take, for instance, now, most mothers are working. And we not only have them working, they are the only parent. You see, now you have most of your population with children are single parents. You don't have many couples staying together anymore. And so what I would do would be, but I've gotten too old to do that now, I would have classes with men and women. And I would teach them how to live together and stay together. I would let them know that nothing is perfect. No human being is perfect. And so what they need to do is how to learn to disagree and agree. All of us will have disagreements from time to time. But what they need to know how to do is to get back together and agree, rather than giving it up and leaving. Because the children are being reared by mamas with no daddy. That's not good. All children need two parents. And the mother's working, trying to make it. She doesn't have quality time that she needs with the child. So the child suffers. And so you have a different child coming up today altogether from the type of child we had back years ago. And most of it is due to the fact that they don't have the family life and they don't have the two parents. Like I had a class of 62 students. Had one old guy in there from Africa, and all the rest of them were girls. And so it was a course called Home Management. And so one girl stood up and said, you know, we sit here every day and listen to you talk about this mess, but we really don't need it. I wouldn't use the word that she used, but she used the ugly word. And so I said, well, what do you mean by that? Well, you keep telling us how to prepare meals for our children. Families sit down at the table together and eat. Black folks don't eat together at no table anymore. I said, well, where are they eating? I said, we ate way back when I was a child, and when my children were children, we ate at the table together. Where are you eating now? Well, we get our food off the stove and go sit out in front of the TV or anywhere and eat it, anywhere you want to and eat it. But we're not having any family life like you keep talking about. And we're not going to get married. We're not going to raise no mama's son. I said, what are you going to do? Well, we're going to get pregnant by a good-looking, educated man, and we'll take care of the babies ourselves. We don't even need the help. Well, now, that was in 1971, and I've lived to see that. And I've talked to a lot of them who did that. A lot of them have decided that it wasn't the right thing to do, and they are sorry. But they had the babies. What can they do now but take care of them?
What was the negative result when they say, you know, that they decided it was not the right thing to do?
Because it was hard. It was hard for them, trying to take care of the baby by themselves. They needed help. And a lot of the modern grandmothers today, hands off, don't help them. They say they reared them, they've done their job, and I'm not helping you. You got that yourself. You take care of it. A lot of them now. I don't think it's right. I think grandmothers, back years ago, grandmothers helped. I think they should now. But a lot of grandmothers now don't help their children with their children. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would do if I had years back. I would have classes. I don't know if any of you saw it, And I don't even know what church it was, but it just happened that 2 weeks ago on a Sunday morning, I turned the TV on, and this church, I usually listen to Shula, but in snapping trying to find Shula, I ran across this church. It was a black church, and it was a couple. The preacher and his wife were preaching the sermon, and they were talking back and forth to each other, telling the young people in the audience how they could marry and get along and be happy together. It was beautiful. The preacher would say something and the wife would chime in, and it was beautiful. And that's what I would do. I would train young people, I would work with them, and try to get them to live together in harmony, rather than getting married, spending all this money for a wedding, and stay together a year or two and separate. Mm-hmm. That's what I do.